This week I have not posted a podcast episode. The last episode of season 2 was posted last week, and for the next 3 months I'm going to be reaching out to new guests. There's a few who are already in the pipeline, and I'm going to be talking to them, recording and editing their episodes. I'll be launching a new podcast very soon with a co-host, and we talk to guests of a very high caliber and give very specific advice about art making. What you can see here is me clearing up what I've been doing at the moment, and this is an A1 page that I've covered with charcoal and graphite, and then I've rubbed with a chamois so that it's a smooth texture on the surface. And that is one page, but I've done 3 pages, so I'm taking off one here, and I think it's really nice and interesting looking. I put on a second one here. In fact, this is actually the third one that I do, but I'm showing you the process here. This is what I've been doing a lot of lately, is not particularly this, but lots of this type of work for an exhibition I've got coming up very soon. So this is the third page that I've done this with, really, and this is me rubbing it down with a chamois after covering it with charcoal and graphite. And then I take that one off, and the first page had a bit of a border around it, so all I'm doing here is covering the border, then getting the chamois, rubbing it in so that it's flush to the edges, just like the other two. Now that's what I've been doing a lot of, as far as a lot of charcoal and mixed media sketches. So I thought for this I should use this piece of cardboard that I had with a set of charcoal sticks that I purchased recently, and do a doodle on this piece of cardboard as a warm-up first. And I thought it'd be quite fun to take a little bit of a different approach with this one. Now normally I will do 1 or 2 different size nibs, but with this I'm going to use this Sanguine brush pen. It's a lovely Faber-Castell brush pen, and I make a few shapes with this, and it's similar to what I've done in a way of geometric shapes and 2D intersecting or interlocking forms, I suppose. And before I do too much, I thought I'll go in after that with a nice dark black ink. This is also a brush nib, but it's not bristles. But then again, the Faber-Castell brush pen wasn't bristles either, but this one is more of a flexible nib. The Faber-Castell is a felt nib, so neither of them are truly brush pens. But this is my little warm-up doodle before I do a mixed media sketch, and I've been doing a lot of mixed media work lately, so I thought, how about doing a mixed media doodle? I've started including a little a kind of advertisement for my Patreon account. If you can support me there, that would be greatly appreciated. I'm going to vary up the promos so that you can see different pieces of artwork and things that will feature on that channel. So this is going to be the mixed media doodle. I'm going to use these charcoal sticks, which is what I used for that A1 page that you can see. My desk is a bit dirty, my hands are definitely dirty, but I thought, I'll just continue with this because it's a doodle, and I never do mixed media doodles. I ordinarily do ink. Very rarely, but sometimes I will use pencil. But with this one, I thought I will start off with my most common piece of cardboard that I use over and over again, which is the packaging for yogurt pots. And this is going to be something which I start with a graphite stick, not a charcoal stick. I've got these graphite sticks here, and these are in different thicknesses, so you can see, not thicknesses, sorry, softnesses. So this one is 6B, so you can see it gets on some texture there, and I just use those marks to inform what I'm drawing with the pen. Now the marks don't look like what the pen's doing, but they're cutting this shape into the cardboard background, so that's why I'm drawing these mechanical looking boxes and probes and spikes and rods and plates and all types of different things that could be something, but to me it's kind of like a junkyard because it's all piled up like a scrap heap or something. And or as we call it in the UK, a tip. Basically it's a tip, and I quite like doing these sorts of design shapes because I don't know what it's going to look like. I just start drawing and then see what materializes out of these ideas, really, and they can be quite interesting. But going with a pen over the top of this graphite isn't what I'm used to, and you do get, you know, a shiny kind of the side of your hand where your little finger is, down the edge of your hand, becomes shiny because it picks up the graphite from the surface. It's something which I'm not used to. I'm used to trying to be quite clean in my studio space, but I've been so busy lately, that's why I haven't uploaded another art video sooner. But I thought this was a fun little idea, and it's something which I think if you haven't tried it, I recommend trying it. It's certainly a different result than I would have had I had not used different types of mark making tools. So going back in again with the graphite stick, a little bit of an eraser there to clean up the edges, but then I use the charcoal stick, and this is much darker and much more like soot, so you can see it's really dark. So I get the chamois and I smooth that out, and on top of that smoothed out charcoal I use the brush nib again, the same one that I used for the warm-up drawing. And this is nice because it's such solid black shapes on top of these different types of texture and tones, that you now have the light graphite outlined by the thin nib of the fine liner, then the misty dusty charcoal which is collected in certain areas and washed out and pushed out and blasted out in others, and then this flat black shadow shapes that I'm boxing in here and blocking out certain areas, and it's starting to just build in layers and trying to see where I can take it. It's quite fun. It is a very different vibe to what I normally work within, and it may not seem that experimental, but for me it's not something that I'm used to. Now the work that I'm making uses all of these tools, but it's far more planned and considered because I have references and I have a concept that I'm working towards, but this doesn't. And then to top it off, I thought I'll take an eraser and cut shapes out of the charcoal tone with an eraser. Now if you're going to try this type of mixed media doodle, really save an eraser that you can chop it all out with. These are the tools that I use, and that is what the doodle looks like. I enjoyed it. I recommend you try it for yourself. But if you've got a couple of pens, some charcoal and a pencil, and then a piece of tissue that you can rub things around with, you've got these tools. And an eraser, that doesn't hurt either. Try it for yourself. Thanks for watching.